Hey guys, Noah from Stage 3 Motorsports, and today we're going to be bringing you an install on this Icon Stage 1 kit for the Ford Raptor. This system features their 3.0 front coilovers with these remote reservoirs, as well as the CDCV adjusters, and then a set of rear shocks that are also 3.0s with piggyback reservoirs, and these are adjustable as well. So this is a really great replacement for either worn out factory suspension or just to get an upgrade over decent factory suspension where you want a little better off-road performance. We've got the whole kit laid out right here, so we're going to go ahead, throw this in our truck, take it on down to our buddy Joe's shop, and we'll get this install started. For this install, we're going to be removing a Fox 3.0 kit that we already had on our Raptor, but with that in there, the process is still going to be the same. Start first by lifting your truck and removing the front wheels to get access to the suspension. Remove the dust cover and axle nut from the hub to unbolt the axle. Next, remove the brake and vacuum line brackets that are attached to the knuckle and the strut tower for additional slack. Also, remove the vacuum line from the back of the knuckle behind the axle. From there, move to the sway bar and unbolt it from the end link. Then loosen up the upper control arm nut until it's at the end of the threads, but do not remove it completely. You may need to use a hammer to hit the knuckle near the upper control arm to allow it to pop out slightly. Now relieve tension on the upper control arm by loosening it at the frame mounts. This is optional, but it makes moving the upper control arm much easier. Disconnect the tie rod end from the steering knuckle so it can swing freely. With that done, move to the top of the strut and remove the 3 nuts that attach the strut to the shock tower. Then remove the nut and bolt on the bottom mount of the strut. Now we can remove the upper control arm nut completely to lift the arm up and rotate the knuckle out of the way. Move your upper control arm out of the way and slide the strut out of the truck. Next, remove the screw on the side of the upper control arm frame mount and slide the new Icon reservoir bracket behind the upper control arm nut so that it lines up with the hole. Reinsert the screw and tighten it down to secure the bracket. Take the new Icon coilover and run the reservoir up through the shock tower into the engine bay and move the coilover into position. Since these are taller than the stock units, you may need to have a friend help you force the lower arm down to get it to fit. Once the coilover is in place, loosely reattach the 3 top nuts to help keep it in place. Now route the hose down and bring the reservoir into place on the bracket so you can attach it with the provided hose clamps. Move down to the lower coilover mount and insert the bolt. Thread the nut on loosely, but do not tighten it yet. We'll come back to this later. Now position the axle back into the knuckle and carefully spline the CV into the IWE hub. Insert the upper control arm back into the knuckle and loosely thread the nut back on. Then tighten the axle nut down, but be careful not to over-tighten it. Once complete, simply tap the dust cover back into place. At this point, reattach the tie rod end to the steering knuckle and the sway bar to the end link. Thread the nuts on loosely for now. Move to the top of the coilover and tighten down the 3 nuts securing it to the shock tower. Then tighten the upper control arm nut securing it to the knuckle. Tighten down the nut for the tie rod end and the one securing the sway bar to the end link. Now tighten the nut and bolt holding the bottom of the coilover to the lower control arm. And finally, go back and tighten the upper control arm at the frame mounts. Reattach the brake and vacuum line brackets to the knuckle and the strut tower. Also make sure to reattach the vacuum line to the back of the knuckle behind the axle. Moving around to the back of the truck now, you'll need to start by removing both the upper and lower shock mount bolts to remove the rear shock. Then lower the axle slightly to make space for the new Icon shock. Position the Icon shock in the truck and slide the top bolt in, followed by the bottom. Then tighten the nuts to complete the install. Lastly, make sure once you've finished your install that you have your vehicle professionally aligned to avoid weird tire wear or any issues with its steering on the street.